Today I'm going to talk about functional training for martial arts and why are you wasting your time by doing functional training for martial arts, for judo in general. I speak about judo, but also this can be applied to all martial arts you are practicing. Why should you listen to me? Well, I've done judo for 17 plus years, and in the last years especially, I wanted to become the best athlete that I can possibly become. So I started to research a lot about how to become a better, more well-rounded athlete. Also, I have a degree in physical therapy, and I've researched and learned a lot about sports physiology and sports science. So I can tell you scientifically why functional training is mostly bullshit. And I can tell you, it is not just an academic lecture. I've tried a lot of stuff in order to become a better judoka. I've tried everything in order to improve my performance as much as I possibly can. I really became obsessed in the last, I would say, 4 years of my life. I tried kettlebell training, I tried functional movements, so-called functional movements. I tried plyometrics. I've done a lot of bodyweight calisthenics training when I was younger because it was the only thing that I had available to me. I've done a lot of circuit training, so you have like eight, let's say 8 exercises, and you do them in rotation. Something for cardio, and I also done a lot of basic barbell work, so powerlifting movements, weightlifting movements, as I can say, also some bodybuilding movements. So I've tried a lot of stuff, and I can tell you that I can tell you what are the things that worked for me, that improved my performance, what are the things that worked for the people that I've coached, because I've coached people around me. I've coached my brother, I coached other athletes in my dojo, and they also improved their performance as well. And I want to tell you that if you're training, functional training, if you are training stuff that isn't really moving the needle of your performance, you're wasting your time. And I've wasted a lot of my time, of my precious time, doing bullshit that wasn't making me better at judo, wasn't making me a better athlete. So I want to share with you why I believe that functional training is bullshit, generally bullshit. What's considered functional training is mostly bullshit and marketing for social media. So first of all, what do you mean by functional training? What is the rationale of functional training? Well, functional training is all the stuff that you see with mat balls or all of that strange twisting movements where you throw a kettlebell, then you move yourself in this very catchy, flashy way, and it looks so athletic, it looks so cool, but it doesn't really make you better. And usually this kind of people use some arguments. The thesis that you're using for their kind of training is that it's how your biomechanics works, which is not true. It's not true. There isn't a standard way to move. There isn't a standard way in which you can move, and if you are following someone who tells you this is right, this is wrong, they are likely gurus that are not really teaching you what is important for your athletic development. Also, people that are telling we are teaching our body how to move, it's not there, as I said, there isn't a standardized way to move, because all of us have different geometries of our skeleton, we have different grade of mobility, we have different grade of tendon stiffness, so it would be stupid for me to do the same movement as you are doing, because this is how biomechanics works. It's simply stupid. Also, research has debunked that very clearly. Also, another argument that has been made, and that I believed, was if you train, we train movements. We are training complex movements while you're training muscles in isolation, if you're doing strength work, which is not true, because if you are doing good strength training, you are training complex compound movements, something like squats, deadlifts, rows, upper body pulling, upper body pushing, twisting. These are also power cleans, hand cleans. These are complex movements. These are movements that will have a real transfer over your performance. And also, training muscles in isolation, in the beginning, I believed that bullshit of training stuff in isolation is useless, while it's not, and I'm going to explain you that later. Also, there is also this another argument, which is if you train like a bodybuilder or a power lifter, which are big and stiff, you're going to become big and stiff as well. Guys, this is the same stuff that have you ever found like a middle-aged woman's, let's say a lady in her 40s, in her 50s, who wants to get fit, and she starts to training, and she's like, oh, I want to become a little bit tonic, but I don't want to become too much bigger. And you're watching at her and thinking, oh, you need to work your ass off to become that much big. You get what I'm saying? You're like a 40-year-old woman if you're saying, oh, I don't want to become too big. It's very hard to become too big. And also, bodybuilders, they dedicate all of their life to hypertrophy and becoming as big and muscular as possible. It's not that you're going to touch a barbell and suddenly become Ronnie Coleman, okay? This is very unlikely. So, why I can tell you, functional training or sport-specific training, when you see all of these flashy, strange exercises, doesn't work for a specific reason. I'm going to tell you an analogy, a metaphor, to explain that to you. Imagine a driver, and you put them inside a car. The better the car, the better the driver can use his skill in order to express his ability with that car. Okay, if you put, I don't know, I don't really watch car shows, so I don't really know any pilots. But let's say you put a world-class pilot inside a shitty car. He can do pretty good, but he will probably not win that much competitions. If you put a pilot inside a very modern, well-crafted, engineered car, he is going to express his ability in driving much better than in an old used car. And this is what strength and conditioning and skill training does. Good strength and conditioning, which means doing heavy barbell work, doing plyometrics, power training, Olympic weightlifting, cardio, doing your conditioning, doing your speed work, okay, will build the car, will build your body, okay? When you're doing these heavy exercises, these are stimulating your body to become much more stronger, much more resilient. It will build the car. And while you're training your skill and your sport, you are training your ability to use the car. You are building your body so it will perform well, and you can do much more cooler things. If you put, as I said, if you put a driver into a shitty car, he can be very good at, let's say, doing the curves, to accelerate, to change the gear, okay, all of that stuff. But if he has a shitty car, his options are limited. While if you put them inside a modern cool car, if you put him into a Bugatti or Ferrari, I don't know, I have no idea what are the best cars in the world. But basically, if you put them into a better car, he's going to express his ability much more better. Okay, this is what I'm saying. So, in my experience, and also what the literature said, and also what all the best athletes in the world in grappling or judo, but also in every other sport are doing, is they're doing strength and conditioning, so weight room, in order to build the car, to build the engine, to build their body to perform as well as they can possibly perform. And also they're training their sports religiously, okay? They are becoming as best as they possibly can to express the skill in the most specific context possible, which is their own sport. And the problem with functional training is that it does neither of this stuff, because you are not giving enough stimulus, and by stimulus I mean a hard-ass training that will improve your body robustness, and they are not training the skill specifically. Okay, so you're not getting better at the skill. Your body is not becoming more strong and more resilient. It's not doing anything to improving your performance. The concept is that your body doesn't want to improve. Your muscles doesn't want to improve. Your body doesn't want to become bigger, doesn't want to become stronger, because it will use energy. The body doesn't want to use energy. So in order for your body to grow muscle, increase bone density, increase tendon stiffness, to increase your heart size and become more conditioned, it needs a strong stimulus. By strong stimulus, I mean, for example, doing a set of squat near to failure. Your body needs to have, let's say, quote unquote, a shock in order to say, okay, let's build some more muscle. Let's increase the size of this tendon. All of that bullshit. It won't come from functional training because the stimulus is not strong enough to tell your body, hey, fucker, we need to become bigger, we need to improve, we need to overcompensate what we already are. Also, the problem with skill acquisition, so becoming better at performing a certain movement or becoming better at a certain sport, if you look at the research of skill acquisition is extremely specific and not very transferable. What do I mean by that? If I'm training a movement, let's say a seoinage, okay, a judo throw, or a double leg takedown, I will become better at performing that specific movement. If I become good at doing a double leg takedown, I won't become better at, let's say, throwing a basketball into the basket, okay? I won't become better at that because these are two different skills that require specific training. I know it sounds stupid and very simple, but the thing is this: if you're performing a movement that is sport specific or extreme, that looks very similar to what you're going to perform on the mat, this won't improve your performance, your ability with that specific movement. In order to becoming better at doing seoinage, you have to perform a seoinage. If you want to become better at performing an arm bar, you need to practice the arm bar. If you want to become better at soccer, you need to practice soccer. All of that, etc., etc., etc. It's simple, but it works. You don't need to do something that will kind of look like your sport in the weight room. It's a waste of your time because you're not giving enough stimulus to your body to adapt. You're not teaching your body to perform the specific movement that you need to do in the competition, for example. Functional training does a mediocre job at both of that. It won't teach you to get better, and it won't give your body stimulus to improve. So the question now becomes, what should you do instead of your functional? If you're doing, let's so-called functional training, what should you do instead? Well, first of all, train your sport as much as you possibly can. This channel is for judokas and grappler in general, but you should train skill in the specific condition that you're going to apply that in the competition. You're going to train the specific skill that you need to become better at. As I said before, you want to become better in the ground game, you have to practice more ground game. You have to make more drills. Not very drills, but drills. I can make another video about drills and why uchikomi and drills and all of that aren't really the best way to learn skills, but this is another topic. But the thing is, you should train your sport in the condition that you're going to face in the competition, okay? As much as you possibly can replicate them. So if you want to become better at seoinage, practice seoinage. Practice it while you're moving, practice it in uchikomi, practice it against a resistant opponent. But practice seoinage. Don't do that strange bullshit when you take a cable, you try to pull it, and then you try to doing a seoinage with the cable. It doesn't work. I've done that. I've done that on my skin. I can tell you my seoinage won't get better. Train your seoinage as much as you possibly can during your training, and also alongside with that, have a good strength and conditioning program. Okay, and a good strength and conditioning program won't change that much. If you look at how a strength and conditioning program from wrestling, for judo, for Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or also for soccer or for rugby, it won't change that much. Okay, probably field players, so people that are playing rugby or football or soccer or whatever that is, they're probably doing more running, more speed work, they're doing some acceleration work, they're doing much, maybe less maximal strength and more speed. But if you look at the work that they're doing in the weight room, it's kind of the same. It's not very that much different, because you're humans, okay? You're always humans, and you know it sounds stupid, but as humans, you adapt in the same way to the same stimulus. If you're doing a good strength and conditioning program, you are going to make your body more resilient. Your bone density will increase. Your tendon stiffness will increase. Your muscles will become bigger and stronger. Your CNS, your central nervous system, will learn how to coordinate itself better in order to express as much force as you possibly can. Okay, I won't go in too much detail in saying too much strange stuff, but basically when you put yourself under a strength and conditioning program, you are making your car better in order to perform the specific thing that you're going to do. Okay, so having how to create a good strength and conditioning program. So to make it very simple, I've made another video in this channel to how to create a good strength and conditioning session, but basically what you should cover is the 4 basic movement patterns, which are squatting, hinging, upper body pushing, upper body pulling. Okay, these are the 4 main movement patterns, and by doing only that, you are already at 80% of what you need to do in order to become a better athlete. Okay, so if you do squatting, things like back squats, zercher squats, one leg squats. If you're doing hinging, which means working your posterior chain, working your hamstrings, working your spine erectors, you're with deadlifting, for example, Romanian deadlifting, hyperextensions, you're going to increase the mobility and also the strength in those areas. Upper body pushing, bench press, dips, push-ups, upper body pulling, weighted pull-ups, rowing, all of that stuff. Doing some conditioning, zone 2 cardio, go running, go swimming, go do some cycling, okay? These are the basic stuff that will improve your car, your engine, in order to perform better in your specific sport. And then go train the skill specifically, okay? But not do this stupid functional stuff. And if you need some more help into structure your strength and conditioning session, you need some help in order to improve your performance in judo or in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you can write me a comment, you can either write me an email, you find all the information in the description, but please stop wasting so much time. I've wasted time myself and I hated it. I don't want the same for you. The video is over. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was useful, and remember to aim upward as always.